Hi guys, welcome back to Absolute Brushes. If you're new here, I'm Pranjali. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do you also find the technique of blending eyeshadows with a bunch of different brushes tricky? I know as a beginner I did, and that's the focus of our video today. I'll be creating this makeup look using a different technique which can be mastered by anyone, especially if you're a beginner and find buffing those eyeshadows a nightmare. So if you want to know how I got this look and what is this technique, please keep on watching. To prep my skin, I always start with a moisturizer, but before that, I like to spray my face with some water. If you want, you can also switch it up with a toner. To lock in all that moisture, I am applying the Pond's Super Light Gel Oil Free Moisturizer. And to moisturize my lips, I am using the Baby Lips Lip Gloss by Maybelline. Post all these steps, I like to wait for at least 10 to 15 minutes so that my skin can absorb all the goodness of the skincare that I just did. Post that, I like to prime my face with the Milani Prime Perfection Primer. To fill in the pores of my forehead, nosy and under eye area, I am using the Benefit Professional Primer. And to cancel out the blue undertones of the pigmentation around my mouth, I am using an orange color corrector. This one's by Miss Fair. For foundation, I'm using the Nykaa Skin Genius foundation stick in the shade 4. I love how sheer and long lasting this foundation is, though it's a little drying, but it should work absolutely fine if you have prepped your skin thoroughly. And to blend it, I'm using my damn beauty blender. To bring some brightness under my eyes, forehead, chin and nosy, I'm using the Nykaa Skin Genius foundation in the shade 2. It is 2 to 3 shades lighter than my skin tone, and I'm topping it up with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade yellow corrector. To blend it, I'm using my damn beauty blender. To chisel my cheekbone, circumference of my face, jawline and the sides of my nose, I am going with the Contour Kit by L'Oreal with my angled brush. For blush, I'm using this corally peach shade from the Sephora Color Festival Blockbuster palette with my larger powder brush by Real Techniques. To set my concealer in place, I'm using a loose powder. This one's New Master Fix by Maybelline. And to set and seal everything in place, I'm using the PAC Instant Fixation Prep and Prime. For highlighter, I'm using this shimmery shade Monroe from the Natasha Denona Biba Shadow Palette with my fan brush. For my brows, I'm just filling in the sparse areas with this brown eyeshadow from Makeup Revolution Ultra Eyeshadow Palette, and to spread the color across, I'm using a spoolie so that it looks more natural. So for today's eyeshadow look, I'm just gonna be using these three brushes. First one is a sponge tip applicator that comes with a lot of eyeshadow palettes. The second one is a larger blending brush. This one's from Real Techniques, but you can use any larger fluffy brush. Just make sure its bristles aren't too tightly packed. And the third brush is a smaller blending brush. This one is the pack in the style 126. It has loosely packed bristles and it is just smaller in size as compared to the previous brush. So to start, I am first picking up this nude brown shade from the Natasha Denona Biba eyeshadow palette on my sponge tip applicator, and I'm placing it in my outer corner and swiping it across my crease line. You can use any nude eyeshadow, just make sure it's 2 times darker than your skin tone to give more depth to your eyes. Now using this larger blending brush, I'm just going to dab on the area where I had placed my eyeshadow until I'm satisfied. I'm not dragging the eyeshadow, I'm just pressing it in the area where I had placed it earlier. And as you can see, it is blending beautifully into my skin. For the next step, I'm taking a slightly darker shade of brown on my sponge tip applicator and placing it on the outer corner. And to blend it again, I'm going to dab it using my larger blending brush until it melts with the nude brown eyeshadow I applied to my crease. For my lid, I'm picking up this yellowish greenish shade from the Nautical Nonsense palette by Wet n Wild with my sponge tip applicator, and I'm placing it on my lid simply by dabbing and dragging it till the middle of my lid. Here I'm just placing my nude brown eyeshadow slightly closer to the lid shade using my sponge tip applicator, and to blend these eyeshadows I'm dabbing on their edges using my larger blending brush by Real Techniques. To brighten my inner corners and my brow bone, I'm using this shimmery ivory shade from Nautical Nonsense palette by Wet n Wild with my flat short shader brush. For my inner lower lash line, I'm using the greenish yellowish shade from the Nautical Nonsense palette by Wet n Wild with my flat short shader brush. And for the outer half of my lower lash line, I'm smoking out this nude brown eyeshadow from the Natasha Denona Biba eyeshadow palette with my pack brush in the style 126. And to line my top lash line, I'm using the Lakme Insta liner with my nail art brush. And to finish up my eye makeup, I'll be throwing on some falsies, but before that, I'm curling my lashes and coating them with some mascara. This one's Total Temptation by Maybelline. And for lipstick, I'm using the shade Spiced Latte by Faces Canada. And here I'm just cleaning out the edges of my lips using a concealer. And for falsies, I'm using the Ardell lashes in the style 102. And here is the finished look. I've paired it up with a green top to complement my eyeshadow. Do let me know if you guys found this technique more simpler as a beginner. I know I used to struggle a lot with blending eyeshadows with a million brushes. So if you found this video helpful and would want me to create more videos like these, let me know in the comment section. And in case you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I post several videos a week. I've left the link to my social media accounts in the description box down below in case you want to follow me there. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.